The Great Race originated from H.P. Lovecraft's work, The Shadow Out of Time. The Great Race are beings of supreme intelligence, who once inhabited the planet of Yith. From here on out, they will be referred to as both the Great Race and Yithians interchangeably. When they learned of their planet's inevitable destruction, they fled, abandoning their old bodies and sending their minds out into space and time, where they took up residence in the bodies of cone-shaped beings that once lived on our planet billions of years ago. The minds of these conical beings were then sent back to the original bodies that the Yithians inhabited, so that they may die in the place of the Yithians during the cataclysm the Yithians so feared. The bodies that the Great Race came to inhabit on Earth were, as previously mentioned, cone-shaped. They were 10 feet wide at the base and 10 feet tall. Sprouting from the top of the cone were 4 great appendages, 2 with large pincers or claws on them that could be used to form a crude kind of clicking speech, 1 with 4 trumpets upon its end, and the 4th with a bulbous green head, housing 3 large eyes that encircled the head. On top of the head were flower-like ears, and underneath the head were a mass of green tentacles. They pushed themselves along, like you can imagine a snail would. Their bodies are genderless, but they reproduce by means of spores. Although, since they live a very long time, they do so rarely to avoid overpopulation. Their spores, or eggs, need to be submerged in order to hatch, prompting the use of incubation tanks. The ability of the Yithians to swap minds with other living beings through time and space is unique to them. The mind that gets sent back to the Yithian's body is kept as a prisoner so that they don't cause any trouble or try to escape with the body. However, these captive minds are treated with a vast amount of respect as compared to what you might expect a prisoner to receive. Upon waking up from the ordeal in their new body, they are questioned, and they are encouraged to write a detailed account of their planet and species from the age they reside. Meanwhile, the Yithian's mind takes the captive's body on a knowledge-gathering expedition throughout various continents or countries on whatever planet the original captive may reside on. Upon first coming to Earth, they encountered the flying polyps. Originally, the polyps were conquerors from another planet. They built large basalt towers with no windows. The polyps had the ability to control the wind and used it as an effective weapon. They had no visible means of locomotion, but they are often accompanied by large footprints with 5 circular toe prints. The Great Race of Yith warred with the polyps and eventually drove them underground with their advanced technology. They sealed all entrances to the underground region that the polyps were trapped in, and placed guards at all entrances. The polyps stayed underground and bred, getting more powerful, eventually rising up out of the caverns and almost destroying the Yithians, prompting them to send their minds into the beetle race that will populate Earth after the fall of humanity. In conclusion, the Great Race of Yith is by no means a terrible race of monsters. While their motives are as strange as their bodies, they mean no direct harm to humanity. And rather than cosmic horror, which is the category I would place most of Lovecraft's works in, I would consider The Shadow Out of Time to simply be science fiction, albeit science fiction with very scary undertones. I hope you enjoyed this brief explanation of the great race of Yith. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. In the middle of the screen, you will find a link to subscribe to the channel. To either side, you will find more videos I've made. Farewell, and remember, keep it spooky.